Hi guys, welcome. This is Preeti, and you're watching this video as it's a video for the Kundalini program, Kundalini Initial Beginner program. But this is like a basic thing, and even if you don't want to participate for the Kundalini program, you can still use these exercises. These are breathing exercises that you can use, and these are pretty simple breathing exercises, like you might have heard if you are from India, like you might have heard them a dozen of times, but I'm still mentioning them. And sometimes I would like to say something about these exercises, that if you are if you are very well known to these exercises, then sometimes you might be missing doing them, or you might be thinking, oh, how are these going to help me? But these breathing exercises, which we call pranayam here, and they are like a standard, and they have been taken down since centuries, and they have been like proven for their work since centuries, and they are still doing their work. So these are the best pranayam that I would like to share with you today, and these are very simple exercises. And how you should be doing is, if you are total beginner, then you have to do it like for 1 minute or 2 minutes, whatever suits you. um, Start with 1 minute. If you have more time, you can do it 2 minutes. I would like to say that stick to the time that you choose. Like suppose if you choose for 2 minutes, then you have to keep doing it 2 minutes daily. Like if you do, there are like 4 exercises, and you have to do each for 2 minutes almost daily. If you pick up the 2 minute time schedule. So if you are lacking in time, then you can just choose 1 minute, and it's totally fine. Sometimes these when I say that do it only for 1 minute or 2 minute, many people just show a frown that how is it possible that these methods are going to give you result if you do it only for a minute. But these are like pure gold, and they are like they serve as nectar when you practice them for they serve as nectar for your body when you are practicing them. So even if you have the nectar for 1 minute, it's like two, like it makes a difference. If you have the nectar for 1 hour, obviously it's going to make a difference. But yes, you should not start any pranayam or yoga immediately. Like as a beginner, you should not choose a huge time difference, like doing pranayam for half an hour, one exercise for half an hour, then the next one for half an hour. It should not be done that way. So let's begin. There are 4 pranayam exercises that I would like to share with you today, and I hope I this is actually a bit of a dramatic statement, that what I have to say, I hope. But I think that everybody who is taking the Kundalini warm up should be doing all of these. And if the more you do them, the more regularly you're doing them, the more regularly your system is going to set according to the natural universal rhythm, and that will help you to get a Kundalini awakening, like as with an ease, with a in a graceful way, and you'll be able to feel the wholeness of the experience on all the levels of your body. So let's begin. The first exercise is Anulom Vilom. And Anulom Vilom is, we also call it as alternate nostril breathing, and it's just a simple exercise where you just have to breathe in from a nostril, and then close that nostril and breathe out through the other one. Again breathe in from the other one, and close this nostril and breathe out from the other, from the this side nostrils. So I'll just give you a small demo, and you will be knowing how to do it. So you can just use your thumb and your index finger, or you can just use all of your fingers like this, closing and breathing, like you can use this like this. So just breathe in from one nostril, then close this, breathe out through the other nostril, again breathe in from this nostril, close it, breathe out through the other nostril. So let me just give you a short demo of this. So you got it. I just did it twice. This, like, doing it one full time is called a one cycle, and like that you can do as many cycles as you can in 1 minute. It's not necessary that you have to do a lot of cycles in 1 minute. This exercise is supposed to be done in a very calm and peaceful manner, and you don't have to rush yourself to do, like, 15 cycles, 20 cycles in a minute. Don't rush yourself into that, because this is supposed to be a slow pranayam, and the more slow you are, the more better effects it gives on your body. That does not mean that you have to be super slow with this exercise, and such that you are like stressing your system in on making it slow. Just stick to your rhythm. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, just stick to that rhythm, and follow that breathing pattern. And sometimes in this pranayam you will notice that you don't have enough, like, enough air going through one nostril, like, whereas you are able to breathe in through the other nostril very well. This is because we have nadi is working. Right side has pingala nadi and left side has ida nadi, and both of these nadis, they switch on temporarily, like, for some time. Not temporarily, they alternate, and they stay in for like 1 or 1.5 hour time gap, and then they switch on to the other one. It takes a bit of time for making both these nadis work together. That is, you can say that the yogis who have reached a very peak state in their meditation, they can balance the working of both of their nadis together. Why is this reason is both these nadis don't work together is when they are working together, like, whenever the prana is flowing freely through both the nadis equally, then that is the place, that is the time, that is the moment where you can say that you can just attract anything that you want, anything you want. You can just, you are a walking creator, so walking Brahma. And because the Brahma Nadi that is in center, I guess that is called the Brahma Nadi. I don't know whether Sushumna can be called Brahma Nadi or not. I think it must be called, because yeah, it is Brahma Nadi, I think, because that is why they say that whenever that Sushumna is working, it gives effect, like whatever you think falls out true. Whatever you think, whatever you speak, whatever you feel, whatever you desire, they come out very true and very quickly whenever the Sushumna is working. So it will take you some time to reach that state. And you might ask me, how much time will you require? Well, it takes a lot of time, because then it depends on what kind of person you are. Sometimes there are people who have actually who are born yogis, and who have that inside them since, they have carried it since their birth, from the other past birth, and they might reach that state very quickly. But it cannot be said for anyone that you might achieve this state in maybe 2 weeks or 10 months or 2 years. It's not like, you cannot predict for anybody like that for anybody. So that is what Anulom Vilom is to be practiced. And the next is Kapalbhati. Kapalbhati is a fast breathing exercise, fast pranayam, where you are supposed to breathe out. You are not supposed to breathe in between. You're also going to hear a bit of Hindi in my English, so bear with it. And you're going to just keep on breathing out for some time, like. And I can say that you should not be doing this for full 1 minute. Count how many breaths you are giving out. You can either do it for 36 seconds, you can either do it for 50 seconds, or 50 counts, or 36 counts, or maybe 100 counts. It totally depends on you, because Kapalbhati is something that it might make you uncomfortable in the beginning, because you don't have to breathe in, you just have to breathe out continuously. I'll be just showing you a little demo of it, how you have to do it. And Kapalbhati is something that is going to, it will make your body perspire. It will make it is going to increase the pulse rate and everything in your body. So if when you are choose to do it in a very quick way, if you are totally healthy, like if you are not if you don't feel it right, then just choose a slower rhythm of breathing out. And I'll just show you the short demo of this. Actually this laptop is on my lap, and so if I am going to show you right now, I have to place it in a little bit distant place so that you'll be able to see me. Otherwise you're going to see me vibrating because the laptop is on my lap. Okay, so this is I'll be showing you what is Kapalbhati. Actually now the laptop is on my bed as it is. So Kapalbhati is something, while you sit for Kapalbhati, you can just sit with a cross-legged position, like you see I am sitting in cross-legged position. And you can put your fingers in Yoga Mudra or Jnana Mudra, whatever you say, and you can just rest your palms on your feet, like I have rested here. And once you just make up your mind, keep your mind very much calm. Also I would like to say that whenever you do any sort of spiritual exercises like pranayam, yoga or anything, keep your cell phones away, because I know that nowadays this cell phones and chatting, and it has become so common that people are hardly able to resist, and you feel like the urge to look at, okay, let me see this person might have messaged me, so what that does is, like, that your mind stays unstable. It stays like, very much alert and anxious and curious. Actually that should not be there. Your mind should be very calm and centered. And while you're doing any exercises, like anyways, like you're going to do just this exercises for 1 minute or like very little time, so I guess you can just shun those activities for some time while you are doing this. So let's begin. Just see how I'm doing it. You just have to breathe out, you don't have to breathe in. Once, just decide by yourself. First, when you begin, just try doing it with a lower counts, like count of 20, like you'll be breathing out just for 20 times. So I'll be doing this for 10 counts, just to make it short, as I'm just giving a demo. And you'll just be able to see what rhythm I'm doing it, in what way I'm doing it. And make sure that you do it in a very natural way, in a very realistic way, rather than any, like, forced way. Just do it naturally as it comes to you. This the rhythm that I'm telling you is not is actually depends on the individual. So choose your own rhythm at which you want to breathe out. Obviously it should not be very slow, it has to be a bit quick, so that you start perspiring. You won't see me perspiring over here, because it's just 10 counts. I have known people who do it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, but yes, that is the time when they start perspiring and show some signs that they are doing Kapalbhati. So okay, so here it goes. Straighten your back, sit straight. Take this Gyan Mudra, place it on your feet. Be totally relaxed, keep your mind centered, keep calm, and just know that you are doing this exercise, and just give yourself fully into it. So that was just, I guess, more than 10 counts, because I was not counting in the beginning. After 3-4 counts I recalled that I was going to do it just for 10 counts. So that is the way that you can do. You can choose to do it in the beginning for 20 counts for the first week, then increase it to 30 counts in the next week, increase it to 50 counts in the third week. And I would like to say that once you start doing these exercises, doing this exercise for a day, doing this pranayam for a day, it's going to work as a nectar on your body. But the main thing is that to continue these practices daily, to continue these practices throughout your life is really important. You will say that, why is it you have that, just give me a complete timeline, that in how much time something is going to give me results. Give me a fixed date, fixed time, how much I should work, so that there has to be accuracy, there has to be exactness in whatever we are doing. But there are certain things that where you don't have time limit. There are certain things like Suppose if you are playing with a kid, there is no time limit that in how much time you're going to feel that happiness inside you, and there is no time limit that for how much time you would like to feel that happiness inside you. If you're playing with a little kid, then you just feel like keep going on and on and on, like. So that is what I am telling you, that these pranayam should be continuously done, and they continuously keep working on your body, and they will show you some improvements from day one when you start doing them, because they are really very good, and they just help to cleanse the energy body. They help, then onwards, then they clean your emotional body, then onwards they clean your physical body. So yes, physical body cleansing starts from day one itself, so you don't have to wait for a long time, like for maybe for some weeks or months to see that physical change in you. You will start seeing that change in the first day itself. Your strength and activity amount, how much active you be throughout the day once you start doing the pranayam. So then comes the Purak, Kumbhak, Rechak. Purak means to fill yourself with air. Kumbhak means to hold that air inside, and Rechak means to breathe it out. So what this process does is it's going to increase the inner strength of all your systems. Like it's to like when you talk about all these spiritual exercises, and when you term as, okay, is it going to increase the strength of my respiratory system, of my circulatory system? These are all scientific words, but I would like to say whatever is inside you is going to strengthen because of this exercise. Inner systems gets strengthened because of this exercise. Otherwise there is no such exercise, or whatever any other form of exercise, or processes or techniques, or whatever we say, there is no such thing that is going to help you strengthen from the inside then pranayam is always the best way to strengthen your inner systems. So here is a short demo of Purak, Kumbhak, Rechak that I am going to show you. Again, for this demo, I would like to say that many instances I have read yoga books, and from many experts I have heard that they say that keeping a ratio of 1:4:2, like breathe in for the count of 1, and then retain the breath for the count of 4, and breathe out for the count of 2. But at sometimes I myself do find it a bit uncomfortable. Sometimes it's very easy to do according to this count, and sometimes it's difficult for this count. And the reason is it's our system is not the same all the time. Sometimes we have a different mindset, sometimes we have different emotional levels, and that makes that changes the metabolism of the body, and and obviously, so you are just not you sometimes are not able to keep that rhythm for all the time. If you are able to keep it, it's well and good. I would like that you stick to it. If you are able to stick to it, if you are doing it for a long time, and if you are sticking on it since a long time, then it's well and good. But if you are not able to do it, I would just like to say that just stop stressing over the fact about 1:4:2. It's totally okay if you cannot follow that rhythm. And what you can do is I would like to say is just follow your follow the energy of your body. If you are not able to retain it for the time that is mentioned, just breathe in, retain the breath as much as you can, and breathe out as much as easily you can breathe out. You should not be forcing it too much to breathe out, or neither you should you should be acting dramatic that you are breathing out. Like just keep it simple, keep it easy on yourself, and keep it easy on your body and your mind. Just center down your mind. It should be very calm and very centered, and then start doing this exercise. It's a beautiful exercise and you'll enjoy doing it. So I'll just show you a small demo of this. So okay, let's begin. Okay, so that was a short demo, and what I would like to say is just to be easy on yourself while you do this exercise. You will be seeing that, you know, once you breathe out, for some moments you won't feel like breathing in, or maybe while you are breathing in, for some moments you just keep on feeling that, you know, as if you just keep wanting to take the air in, and once you hold, you might feel like holding for a long time. You don't have to hold it for a long time with an intention that, you know, you will be reaching some high spiritual state if you are able to hold for this much time or that much time. That is all. Yes, there are yogis who can hold on their breath for a longer time also, but as a beginner you just don't have to think about all that. You just have to think about strengthening your inner systems, and that is going to happen only when you are at ease, when you are doing these exercises at ease, and when you're totally following your rhythm, totally following your totally following your heart. Just see what it feels like, you know, what it feels right to you. Just do it in that way. Make sure the basics are something that, you know, you have to stick to it, like sitting with a straight back, sitting with crossed legs in lotus position. It can be crossed legs, it can be siddhasana, like taking one leg over and putting it over your other leg, or it can be totally with padmasana, where you have both of your legs like this, and plus followed by the yog mudra or gyan mudra in both of your hands, resting on your knees. So that is supposed to be that is the basics, and that has to be there. Now you can you might not be comfortable taking lotus position or sitting crossed legs if you are in your office or something and you are planning to do this exercises in your office. So it is totally fine if you are not able to sit cross legs. You can sit on a chair. Make sure you don't cross your legs, like, you know, your legs have to be like this and not like this, because many people have that habit of keeping their legs crossed while they are sitting, and it's not any because there is a reason after this, that you don't have to let the currents cross. Whenever you are working, there's this Ida Nadi and Pingla Nadi. Both of these are running currents on the left and right side of your body. Like many people are listening to it, so I said your bodies. So okay. So when you are like working with pranayam and yoga, both of these currents are getting activated, both of these channels are getting cleansed. So it is better that, you know, you don't cross your limbs, like, you know, your hands also, don't keep your hands crossed while doing any pranayam or yoga, unless the yogasana demands that you cross your hands or something. So unless it's demanded, just make sure that your hands and legs are, you know, they are kept straight and not crossed, because that will make the flow of the currents, it might get fused, and it might not give you the full results of whatever you are doing. Then the next exercise is deep breathing. Now this deep breathing is just simple deep breathing. You don't have to over exaggerate the deep breathing, neither you have to take shallow breaths. Just take the deep breathing that makes you feel very nice and calm and condensed and everything, like, you know, just it makes you feel good on all the levels. Deep breathing is something, it's like it's golden, like, you know, it's pure gold in exercising. Yeah, like, you know, in pranayama and everything that you can say, deep breathing is the best, because you can do it at any place, anytime. Even if you have had food, it's okay to do deep breathing sometimes throughout the day whenever you feel like. Yes, the other pranayam that I shared, it's better that you do them when you have not eaten anything, or you have not drunk any water or anything. Stomach has to be empty while you're doing that. You might ask me, why is it that we have to not eat during spiritual exercises like yoga and pranayam? It is because when you do these exercises, you are actually cleansing your inner systems, and when they are empty, when they are not working, like, you know, when your stomach is not working, digesting food, it's like, you know, it's at rest, and that is the best time when you can do energy cleansing on your body. And when you do yoga and pranayam, your energy is actually being cleansed, so it gives you can actually say that whenever you finish your session with pranayama, you actually have a brand new system inside, of course on the energy level, because all the energy has actually refreshed, and new amount of new and very positive energy has entered your system. So deep breathing can be done like on any level of depth, or any level of slow motion that you are comfortable with. So it's not necessary that you do it only in a particular way. You might have seen somebody doing it. You don't have to do it the way I am doing it. Just see what is comfortable for you, and stick to that. Yes, deep breathing also, for deep breathing also, the rhythm at which you breathe daily might vary from day to day, and it's totally okay, because obviously we are daily, we are not the same inside. We keep changing, and there is like, our energy levels are different, and it's totally fine. But you just have to make sure that you keep on doing it daily on a regular basis, as you will be improving the quality of the exercises that you do. They are surely going to increase in the quotient at which they start showing great results on your body. So the more you keep doing it, you can be assured that you are going to do it the better. And so just keep doing these exercises. So here goes the demo for deep breathing, and it's just simple. For the previous exercise, you saw me putting my hands over here, and then one hand, and then it's totally okay. You just, whether you where you put your hands here or not, it's not necessary. If you're comfortable putting your hands over here, it's okay. You don't have to necessarily put it. It's still going to have its effect even if you don't place your hands on your chest, or or on anything like, yes, anulom vilom, you have to use your hands and fingers. So okay, so then here goes the deep breathing. You just have to, okay, let me just, okay, so that video just coincidentally, I don't know, something happened and it stopped. So here goes the deep breathing. As I explained to you, that the deep breathing has to be done like, to the rhythm that suits you. So here it goes. Let me just again adjust the screen so that you can see me doing the exercise. And okay, so that was what you saw me doing, the deep breathing exercise. And just bear with me, because this there is a bit of lightning is making a difference. So okay, so whatever it is there, so you just saw me doing showing you this 4 exercises, and what we call pranayam, and you also can call pranayam. It's pranayam for everybody, whether you can say it correctly or not, it is still pranayam. And okay, so and after you do this, what I want you to do, this is a kundalini warm-up exercise. These are kundalini warm-up exercises, and these are going to help you to cleanse all your channels and center your mind. So once you do this exercise, like once you finish doing these exercises, I want you to go and meditate for 10 minutes. Like, you can wherever you are, so you want to meditate, you can just sit at that place and start meditating at that place itself. And keep doing it. Like, you have to maintain this, that once you do the pranayam, immediately you follow it with meditation, because you will gain from it. Like, it's going to give you immense results in meditation, being a total beginner. So that is the way you have to do this kundalini warm-up exercises. I will also be sharing a little more details in the guide that I give you. You will be getting a guide shortly, and through email. You can just and that guide is going to help you to do exercises or anything that you are supposed to do during the kundalini warm-up program. Okay, so if you are watching this video being totally unaware of what Kundalini warm-up is, Kundalini warm-up is a program where I will where any beginner can pop in, and you can just subscribe and you can just start doing the exercises as to awaken your Kundalini. So that is what Kundalini warm-up program is for. And if you are watching this and totally unaware of what Kundalini warm-up is, and now you're just wanting to subscribe to it, or now you also want to do that session, you are also welcome. These sessions are for free, and yes, the amount of Kundalini that is transferred is very less. Like it depends on your body, it depends on your strength of your inner systems, about how much you have gained, or what kind of energy system you have. According to that, your Kundalini will slowly awaken. And so this program is open for everybody, and you can surely do it. You just go to my website. I'll be placing the links below this video, so that you can just go and find the details about this program. And welcome to this program. I hope you like this video, and I hope you go and practice and do this regularly, the way it is mentioned in the video. So all the best, and happy awakening. Bye bye.